Sadnam Aloha. So today I want to talk about the weekend that's leading up to the full moon on Monday. And here are some things we're going to go over in this video. So Saturn is in Pisces right now and it's moving into Aries. So we'll briefly go over that. And then Saturn and Neptune in the 25th gate. We'll talk about energy cords. And then we're going to talk about holding someone's karma. And then we'll go over the Phoenix fractal reading, the twin flame message, and then the human design type messages. Okay, so let's do some dates. So Saturn in Pisces. Saturn's been in Pisces since March 2023, and it's going into Aries on May 30th of this year. Right, so it's going to sit in Aries until about September 1st, and then it's going to zip back into Pisces from September 1st to February 14th. And that's very significant, right? That's Valentine's Day in the not-self world. So Saturn in Aries is also on this same date, February 14th, 2026. Is with Neptune, and they're both at 0 degrees, all right? And this is a yikes moment. This is a 150-year cycle that's beginning for humanity, for the collective, and look where it is on Valentine's Day. But I'll talk about this more as we come closer to it. This is very, very significant. So we're going to kind of getting a little sneak peek, right? Because Neptune's in Aries now, and then Saturn is going to move into Aries, and that's going to significantly change the energy. Okay, so Saturn in Pisces, March 2023 to September 2025. What have we been working on as a collective? Well, a collective karmic release and relief. It's been a relief too, especially of old emotional, religious, and ancestral contracts. Boundary confusion, especially in spiritual, romantic, or service-based dynamics, right? What makes you a good spiritual person? Spiritual accountability with Saturn and Pisces, maybe having dreams that lack structure, were tested, or collapsed. And grief and fog. So many of us on the fractal line, the Phoenix fractal, we had to go through unprocessed trauma, addiction patterns, avoidance behaviors, and the pain of disillusionment. So the fractal was going through a huge emotional detox and an identity ego death all at the same time. So what does Saturn and Pisces say? What no longer serves your soul must dissolve. It must go. And Saturn in Aries, when we move into Saturn in Aries on May 30th to September 1st for the sneak peek. This is all about initiation, it's about embodiment, and it's about self-responsibility. So where Saturn in Pisces dissolved illusions and karmic codependencies, Saturn in Aries demands that you take the reins, right? That you become your own inner authority, right? And this is what human design teaches too. No more outsourcing your authority. No more making someone else's voice more important than your own. So the victim, martyr, rescuer triangle collapses. You realize that no one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save you and do all the work for you. You must choose you now. You have to choose you now. And procrastination becomes painful with Saturn in Aries. And initiation requires that you embodiment. That means that you're in integrity. And action. And this is the language of the Aquarian age, is action, right? So you're not dreaming about it anymore. You're taking action. So let's go to the human design. So Saturn and Neptune are going to be conjunct in that 25th gate until 2026. So they're here now, like we're getting a sneak peek. If you look at the chart here, this is the full moon chart. this weekend, even now, it's Saturn's in the 25 and then Neptune's in the 25 right here off the G center. So this is about love. The 25th gate is about love, and it's about love. With Saturn in Pisces in the 25, it says love is no longer being a martyr. So this is stripping away the false forms of unconditional love, right? So this 25 is one of the locks. I don't know if I want to get into that right now about the global cycles. I'll do another video on this, but all I want to say is it's an important gate, basically. And the way that we open up this gate with a key, because this is like a lock, we open up it with the key. Well, the cross of planning that we've been in since 1615 is very tribal based, and that means there's an exchange, there's a transaction, that, right? So in terms of love, that would be tribal love. You do this for me, I do that for you, this tit for tat, an exchange. And it often required martyrdom and sacrifice, especially for the feminine, right? For the feminine, because it's connected to the 37. Anyway, don't get confused by all of that. I'll do a video on that in the future, so you understand that a bit better. So this is about stripping away the false forms of unconditional love. What you were taught and conditioned to believe what unconditional love is, right? And it's all hold your pain while you avoid it. All hold your pain, this, right? While you avoid doing the work, basically. I'll keep suffering as long as you feel okay. As long as you're happy, right? I'll be happy, right? I'll be happy. I'm going to be riding vicariously through your life, right? As long as you're happy, but I can suffer here in silence, right? Not notice. Nobody's noticing that I'm suffering. I'm invisible, right? These are the false forms of unconditional love. So the thing is that you thought you were divine feminine, that you were loving him by buffering him, by protecting him from his lessons. And Saturn is showing you now that was not love. That's not true love. That's the conditioning, right? That was karmic codependency, masked as love and loyalty. So your body is now saying it's not mine to carry anymore. And you're really going to feel that this weekend. And the fact that you're watching this video, the seed's been planted, right? You can't unknow this. So this is Saturn's lesson, to build a clean container for real love. A clean container. So this means honoring your boundaries, releasing the need to suffer for another person's growth, a need to diminish your light for another person's growth so they feel good about their life. You become invisible and prop them up from the shadows. You're letting go all of that. You're no longer leaking light to someone not meeting you in presence, and that's the divine masculine. The divine masculine needs to be presence. He can't be the banana spine, right? The false masculine collapses in any kind of light, especially the divine feminine light, divine light, he'll collapse. That means he lashes out. He goes towards his ego and not to his integrity and not to the strength of his soul. You're not going to leak this energy to this weak masculine anymore. That can't meet you. He can't meet you. So Neptune in Aries in gate 25 says that love becomes active, fierce, and self-honoring. So Neptune in Aries isn't about dreamy sacrifice. It's the mystical warrior that says, I choose to embody love by not abandoning myself. I choose to embody love by not abandoning myself. So this is you pulling your light back to you, right? And this is about stop taking on someone else's karma and burn the illusion of being their source, which is their savior and their fixer, right? If I'm not there fixing and doing things for this karmic partner, then they'll fall apart. Like, that's an illusion, right? That Neptune in Aries wants you to to heed, right? Heed that lesson. So okay, what else did I want to say here? So the gate, if we look at here just quickly, like a little summary for this weekend, you can see the sun is in the 23, and this is splitting apart, right? Splitting apart. So this is the energy of letting go of what no longer belongs to your truth frequency. So this is about speaking the truth. So this speaking the truth without explaining yourself and defending yourself. And you don't speak to the people that don't have the ears to hear, right? You speak only when your message is distilled through experience. So you speak from your experience and your knowingness, right? So you want to honor the power of a sacred silence even when the world isn't ready, right? Your karmic partner is not ready to hear this. You want to just honor that silence. So this is the weekend of cutting cords from the past, especially your own false identities, and outdated survival strategies, and the inner voice that says you must carry someone else's karma to prove your worth. And then on Monday is the breakthrough. This is the full moon in the 43. And so this is intuitive knowing that can't be explained rationally. So this full moon illuminates your inner rebel mystic who already knows the truth. You probably already know the truth right now, but you've been gaslit out of it, right? Your karmic relationships have been gaslighting you out of it. And this says you don't need to carry your karmic's karma, right? You don't need to do that. You're not responsible for someone else's healing timeline. And your breakthrough is going to come through solitude. So try to spend a little bit of time to yourself this weekend if you can, like get out on your own so that you can listen to your inner voice, right? So your breakthrough is going to come in that way, not through sacrificing yourself anymore this weekend. So this is about breaking a pattern of you and your relationship with love. And then you've got Saturn and Neptune in the gate 25. And so this is the gate of universal love. But in shadow, when it's in shadow, it's martyrdom and it's spiritual bypassing. So this is a long transit. It's going to recalibrate your whole relationship to responsibility and purity and love, right? So love doesn't mean taking on other people's pain to prove your divinity, to prove your worth, right? So boundaries, you want to serve and help without abandoning yourself, and then lead without leaking. So let's go to the leaking part that I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about cords first, and maybe people are familiar with this already. And if you are, put it in the chat. Energy cords. So what's a cord? A cord is an energetic thread that connects the chakras or the aura between two people. So these can form through, and this is very brief, like Cole's, condensed version in a nutshell here. The cords can form through sexual connection, through repeated emotional, spiritual intimacy, through trauma bonding, and then through shared soul contracts or past life vows. So with the twin flames, the cords are multidimensional. So they run through the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and often the arc line. Right? So that's the band of light that goes from earlobe to earlobe. And this is the halo that you see in paintings and stuff. And maybe you're able to see that energy. But also the divine feminine has another arc line that runs from nipple to nipple, right? From nipple to nipple. So that can create cords from those particular areas in your energetic body. So how cords can become draining is when someone avoids your karma, your karmic partner, right? Your false twin. When someone avoids their shadow work, this cord acts like a vacuum tube. You're doing all the soul work, and they're reaping the energy benefits. But you get the symptoms. So the body heaviness, the gaining the weight, the fog, the bloating, the shoulder pain, back pain, constipation, or even grief. It's because you're carrying both ends of the karmic contract. So it's not conscious. This is what's dangerous here, that it's not conscious because their soul keeps pulling on you while the ego denies, avoids, or even resents you. So why cord cutting? You may have done this if you're in a twin flame connection. It's like, I got to get rid of this person, right? They're in my head and I can feel them around me. I'm going to do a cord cutting and it doesn't work, right? So why cord cutting alone doesn't work in the twin flames? Because it grows back. That cord will grow back if the lesson isn't learned. So if you cut the cord without returning their karma, they'll unconsciously seek you out, either psychically on the astral plane, right, or energetically, or even in your dreams. So what's needed is a full return of karmic responsibility and a sealing of your light body, right? So this is the kind of work that we're going to be doing in the online retreat, the Divine Feminine, Awakening the Divine Feminine, and the Lilith Rising online retreat, is to finally let go, like clear these contracts, these karmic contracts, so that you can move forward. I mean, the cards that I'm pulling for the fractal, it's like over and over and over again, it's these karmic relationships, and this is what you're entangled in right now. And so with karma, you can't, remember I said about the false light grid? If you watch my last video, I talk about the false light grid. And the false light grid will tell you, well, you just have karma with this person. You have to suck it up and just take, right? And just take it, and keeps you in victim, right? Keeps you in victim. And it's not true, right? So it's kind of like, you know, if you get a gym membership and then it's on this subscription basis and they're just withdrawing from your bank account every month, right? Well, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like you're being continually siphoned of your energy and you're unaware of it. So this is why you have to get really clear on your energy. And this is what the Divine Feminine requires. You've got to seal up your energy body, right? Because there was a schism that happened, a schism with your energy body. So it's not like your false twin or your real twin created this schism. It came before them, but they showed the mirror, right? They're showing you the mirror, especially your true twin flame, about where you're leaking your energy, So this is what we're going to be, the work that we'll be doing during this online retreat, is to seal up your energy so that you can really rise as the Divine Feminine. And no woman rises without the Divine Feminine until she descends into Lilith, right? And that's your exiled feminine. So there's lots of somatic trauma release exercises, and then there's going to be lots of stuff to do beyond Kundalini yoga and meditation, and then actually look at your chart too. So if you're called for this, do it. Like, sign up. It starts 1 week from today, Friday, May 16th to the 18th. And then there's the following Wednesday, there's a meditation, another group meditation where we come together again. And then the following Sunday, the integration group meditation. So there's lots of support to move you through this process. Okay, so how do you know if someone's leaning on your energy? Well, you feel lighter and clearer when you consciously pull your energy back. Your shoulders will soften, your body releases weight, inflammation, and pain. You start to feel like yourself again. And that's because you're no longer acting as their energetic buffer, right? And so they start like your false twin, even your twin, your real twin that's in resistance, they start thriving, right? When you're doing all the heavy lifting. Remember, you're connected through this cord. They land the new jobs. They land the new partner, the new opportunities. Their life seems to be going so well. Their life looks great on the outside while yours feels stagnant or heavy. But it's not in alignment, right? They're borrowing light that they haven't earned. We earn this light. If you're on my fractal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me know that you've earned this light. You've earned this power by your inner shadow work, inner child work, right? Through your healing journey so far. So you experience mysterious body symptoms like weight gain that you can't seem to let that weight go, bloating, puffiness, especially around the midsection, your solar plexus, and your upper back, and especially your shoulders, right? That's a big sign that you're carrying their karma. They're leaning on you. There can be exhaustion, rage even, migraines, anxiety, particularly after moments of contact, right? They can it can be like physical pain or psychic pain, even in the dream world too. So you feel like you're carrying a karmic backpack that isn't yours. And you stop progressing until they're out of your field, right? Projects will stall, manifestations feel blocked, prosperity's not coming in, right? You can't access your full creative force because your system is split, right? You're keeping their karma afloat while their soul avoids facing it. So what's happening here is you are delaying their work. You're delaying the work that they need to do on their own. You can't do this work for them, right? So in terms of this, well, what happens to them when I pull my energy back? Well, they feel it. They can't go to your light anymore, right? They can't go to your light anymore, and then they start to feel and experience what they've been avoiding, right? Which is the grief, the inner child work, the shadow work, all of that. And then everything, their life starts to wobble, right? Their life will start to wobble because you're giving it back to them. You're giving their karma back to them. So this has been really coming in strong for me. So I just want you to be aware of it. And you're like, what can I do? What can I do? I can hear you now. Is come to the retreat. Come to the retreat. But just bring this already into your awareness that this is going on, especially if you're feeling these symptoms, right? And this is like, yeah, I can totally relate to this. Just by the light of your awareness and you're bringing it in, then it's going to shift and change, and you'll notice, right? You'll notice that you'll start to feel lighter and clearer when you pull back your energy. Okay. So let's go to the readings next, and the fractal line here. I picked some cards for the fractal line with this theme in mind, and for you for this weekend. So the Four of Cups here, and this is emotional detachment. It's love has been offered but not received. Hangman is surrender. You've been hung in someone else's karmic loop. Five of Swords reversed. You're ending mind games here. And King of Pentacles reversed is the false masculine archetype. And the sacred union is calling, Two of Cups, and the four of Pentacles. My mouth can't keep up with what's coming through right now. That's funny. So this is about release and letting go of energetic hoarding and fear of loss. So let's go deeper into this. So this is the false masculine, right? With the King of Pentacles reverse, it's the false masculine who appears solid, right? But he can't hold you. He looks stable. He says the right things. He sounds spiritual, but he can't hold you. He collapses when you step into your power, right? He'll collapse. So this says that you're still entangled with men who ghost. They'll ghost. That means that whenever you need them and you're vulnerable and you're going through a hard time, they're gone. They're ghosts. They're out. because they can't handle you. They can't hold you. And then they just return whenever, right? Whenever. So this triggers anxiety in you, and then you want to start overgiving, right? I don't want to be too much for him, right? So I'll just keep it all to myself. Those kinds of things, right? Those dynamics. And so you're being called to drop this false king. He's a false king, and stop trying to fix who doesn't want to rise. He refuses to rise, this karmic. And then you've got the energetic hangover, right? The energetic hangover, and this is the hangman and the Four of Cups. So this is emotional numbness that follows after giving to this false masculine, right? And so you're not lazy. Maybe your energy's really, really down. It's like, no, you're not lazy. You're just exhausted from carrying him, carrying what was not yours to carry. So maybe perhaps carrying his karma, right? His karma. So this weekend is about recovering your soul, right? It's releasing the waiting energy. Like, I'm waiting for him to rise. He's not rising. Your karmic partner is not rising, and all these videos have been pounding this message to you, right? So many, you may feel grief, not because you lost something real, right? It's not about, like the 25 Neptune and Saturn is about, and Saturn and Pisces in particular, is about taking away what's not aligned with your soul. And that means it was an illusion, it wasn't real. So the grief isn't about losing something real, but because you finally admit this wasn't really love, right? This was not really love in the truest sense of the word. And then the Five of Swords reversed and the Four of Pentacles. The Five of Swords reversed right there. And the Four of Pentacles here, right, says to stop playing tug of war with your own intuition. So stop negotiating with your karmic, right, who's shown you they're not willing to meet you. They're not changing. So this isn't a test of your compassion. It's a test of boundaries. So this is where Four of Pentacles is positive. It's like you're setting strong boundaries now. You're learning to say no and mean it, right? Because the karmic, especially a manipulative karmic, will know. Well, she doesn't really mean no, right? She doesn't really mean no. I can totally talk her out of that or manipulate her out of her no. But if you come forward with like a real no, right? That's coming from your navel, basically. He'll know that he can't manipulate you anymore, right? So this is no, and I mean it. And then you detach from guilt. You don't feel guilty about it. And you let the karmic collapse and unfold. Let the karma collapse. Let him collapse, right? And unfold without trying to go in and save it, right? And trying to rush in and fix it. So the sacred offer is still here. The Two of Cups is still here. And so real union, Divine Feminines, real union is possible, but it's not in the field of manipulation, hope, or compromise. It's in the frequency of you honoring yourself. That's when you're going to find true love, true union. That's real. So it's here. The energy is here for you, but it starts with you having self-respect, right? And standing up to this karmic and saying, no, you can't treat me like this anymore. Right? I want more. You're not rising. You're not changing. I'm moving on. Right? So it's about honoring yourself. So the Two of Cups here is trying to land into your field, but there's no space. There's no space to land. It's hovering above you. It can't land because your body is buffering, right? You're taking on the karma of others, right? You're taking that onto your body. So there's no room for this real union to come in, right? So you've got support this weekend, right? You've got the Sun in the 23, and it's like let go of false forms of connection. This is not real connection. The full moon in the 43, breakthrough on Monday. Your knowing is right. So stop trying to explain it or defend it. And then Saturn and Neptune in the gate 25 is love's not about making sacrifices or abandoning yourself and becoming the martyr. So the martyr dies here this weekend. So you want to come down off the cross, right? We need the wood. Have a fire sale for all that wood. Get rid of it. You're not the martyr anymore. So you're not stuck. You're just carrying someone else's karma in your nervous system. You're not stuck. And so it's time to put it down, right? And love doesn't look like exhaustion. Love does not look like exhaustion. That's not real love. So let this false king go, right? And fall. He's going to fall, right? If you're not holding him, not holding his karma, he will fall. And he has to do his own inner work. So that real love can arrive for you, Divine Feminines. That's awesome. So my prayer is that you listen to that message, Divine Feminines. Okay, where are we going next here? Twin Flame. Okay, so remember how I do this now. Is I do the false twin, right? Your false twin versus your true twin. And then you're going to recognize who is who, right? False twin, so this could be the karma, the one that you think is your twin, that you believe with all your heart is your twin, right? But you've got your doubts, comes and goes. And then your true twin. And remember the flame for the false karmic twin burns away. It eventually gets extinguished. The true flame, true twin flame, is the eternal flame. It's just always there. It's always there. So what is it? What are the cards saying? Well, let's start off with the false twin. Hey, we'll start off with the false twin. So the false twin is 6 of Wands. So what's that say? That says you felt recognized by your twin, but it was ego fuel, right? So you felt recognized by your karmic relationship, but it was ego fuel. So this person saw your light and it made them feel special, not you. It made them feel special. You were the trophy, right? You were the trophy on his arm. And it wasn't mutual, deep soul connection, right, of the real twin, right? It was energetic extraction, right? And probably from past lives, to your past lives. So they were proud to be next to you, right, in public, but not really with you. They weren't proud to be with you, just next to you, right? Like, look how good she looks, right? Divine Feminine. And then you've got the 4 of Pentacles sideways. That's just how it flung out. And they took enough just to keep you hooked, right? They took enough. You, the Divine Feminine, you took enough, right? I took enough, right? This false twin just gave me a breadcrumb or two, and kept me going, kept me hopeful, right? Kept me hopeful. So just enough affection, right? Just enough presence, right? Maybe just enough sex, but not too much, right? To keep your heart looping. But no true surrender. There was no true surrender here. There was no shared vulnerability. There was no real intimacy. It was only control. Very physical. You were managed, right? I talked about that in the last video. So this is breadcrumb energy here, right? And then the Fool, and the karmics know when you pull away, when you're starting to pull away, then they come out with the crumb. Oh, they can feel you energetically pulling away. So that's when they throw out a breadcrumb for you. And that keeps you hooked, right? So then you've got the Fool right here. And this is you took the leap alone. You trusted, you hoped, you opened yourself up to this love. But they never followed you. They never followed you. So this card shows that you walking forward while they stayed behind. which means they stayed emotionally. This isn't like physical movement, but you moved on your journey, right? And so this means they were emotionally unavailable or spiritually closed. And then the Six of Swords reversed is you tried to carry their karma. You tried to, well, they're not doing the work, so I'll do the work for them. You can do this unconscious, right? Unconsciously. So you wanted to help them heal, right? You wanted them to cross that threshold. But in doing so, you absorbed their chaos. You absorbed their pain that they didn't want to do, right? And you did all this work and they still didn't change. They still didn't change. And then you've got the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Pentacles, which is really interesting. So this is not embodiment, right? No embodiment here. So this is the seductive shadow, right? Emotionally volatile, spiritually bypassing, competitive, while pretending, right? Pretending to be the masculine, pretending to be the divine masculine, and it's all fake. So this is a confirmation that that this shadow energy is not about, it's about the false masculine. It's all about the false masculine. So the message is loud and clear. He's not the king. And you got that in the fractal reading too. He's not your king. He appears stable, reliable, and mature. He's got all the things that ticks the boxes that makes him mature and reliable. A good paying job, this and that, but he's not energetically, he's not your king because he can't hold you. As soon as you get stronger and you rise in your frequency, he collapses, and that's giving you the silent treatment, running away, right? Running away, refusing to change, right? Projecting onto you, not taking any responsibility. That's the false masculine there. He's not your king. He can't hold you. He's ungrounded, right? He's ungrounded. He's unavailable. He's controlling, or he's codependent. So he may act like he's spiritually mature. He's got the image, right? He wears the right clothes, and he has the language, all the language, but it's fake. It's fake. But inside, he's disconnected. It's not real. He's not connected to his soul. He's siphoning off of you. Right? And he's avoidant. So he may even project stability to keep you hooked while leaking, right? While leaking, not present at all. Okay. So this says that he's not your partner, right? This is the mask of a man who survives by leaning into your power while not claiming his own, right? His own. So he's not showing up as the king. This is the false twin here. And then you've got the Four of Wands. And so this is the fantasy with these other cards for the false twin. This is the fantasy of union that you held, right? That held you hostage. Well, maybe he's my twin. He is my twin, right? He's my soulmate. So you thought it was the real thing. The synchronicities, right? The number repeating, those kinds of things. The recognition, the energetic high. It felt like sacred union. But it was built on imbalance. And spirit is now pulling down the veil so that you can see. Right, during this energy, if you're willing to see the truth, the veil will start to come down. And then you've got the Tower, Two of Cups reversed, Three of Swords, and the Lovers. And so this is saying that the karmic contract is done. It's expired. Your karma is done, right? You haven't been in that gym for over a year, and still it's things that, your money's still being withdrawn out of your account. Your energy is still withdrawn, and it's expired. It's totally expired. So this was a house that was built on energetic fantasy. The love wasn't mutual. It wasn't real, right? The heartbreak is your lesson here with the Three of Swords. And the Lovers here is not union. It's a spiritual choice. Will I stay in this illusion, this fantasy, right? Or will I walk away for good? That's your choice. Or will I walk away for good? So for the false twin dynamic, you can say to yourself, this connection taught me what I will no longer accept, right? It taught me what I don't want, what I will never accept again, right? I grieve the fantasy, right? I grieve the fantasy because that's what you're really sad about. And I release the contract. I walk away so that love can find me again. True, mutual, and embodied. Someone that can meet me, right? Meet me as the divine feminine. Okay, so that's the false twin. And then let's go to your true twin. Okay, so 6 of Wands. What is this saying for you and your true twin? That your souls are destined to rise in union. So there's a recognition. There's a mutual soul memory. Both twins are remembering. A deep knowing that this is meant to be witnessed, celebrated, and embodied. So you came here, you signed a soul contract, you and your twin, to co-create something visible, something that uplifts humanity. And you both feel that pull, right? Even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, you know this, there's a knowingness. We're supposed to uplift humanity together, right? Something visible, something public. And then the 4 of Pentacles sideways, but this is the fear of the twins, right? The fear of letting go is delaying the reunion, right? The fear of letting go. So neither one, the divine feminine or the divine masculine, are fully surrendering. So you may be holding on to karmic attachments if you're in a karmic relationship, divine feminine, or with your family. That could be with your family too. And then at the same time gripping what could be, but you're still in this other gripping to an old timeline, right? These karmic attachments that you have to let go of. So the sideways says that both the divine masculine and the divine feminine are afraid to fully open, to really let go of control, right? With this divine union. And then the Fool says a new cycle is possible if the divine feminine, right, chooses truth. Right? What's true? What's not fantasy? What's true? If you choose truth. And if the divine masculine releases the burden, so the burden of this connection. So the Fool speaks of a divine reset. If the leap is made, but from both sides, both have to make the leap. So this could still be a sacred partnership, right? There's still hope here. But it must be made in innocence. It must be made in pure innocence, that 25. It can't be from a place of martyrdom, right? And codependency and, right? All that tribal relationship programming that we received, right? It can't come from there. It's got to be both, have to be in a place of the Fool, the innocent. And then you've got the 6 of Swords reverse. And so this says the divine feminine has not left the karmic shore yet, right? So you're circling around old trauma, right? Still clinging to the past, right? And the crossing, because 6 of Swords upright, as I'm crossing, I'm moving into better waters for me. I'm moving towards my destiny, right? It's been delayed, but divine feminine, you can't wait on the boat forever. If you don't leave the false shore of the false twin in your karmic relationships, family, karmic partner, whatever, that karmic job, whatever it is, you got to leave. It's time to leave. And it's saying that you must, and you must. So what happens when both twins are still in shadow? And there you've got the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed. So this is, you're intimidated by your own radiance. You're intimidated by your own power, Divine Feminine. You know that you're powerful, right? But you hide it. You hide it instead of rising. So you're hiding. Queen of Wands is like, reversed is I'm hiding it. I'm hiding my power. You fear being too much. So you play at being small, diminishing yourself, making other people's voices more important than you. What do you think I should do? Right? Like outsourcing all your power. And you overcompensate, right, in your relationships. And you're using attention, flattery, or silence to try to control the field rather than just surrendering to the truth here. So, in essence, you know, Divine Feminine, you know that this is a twin flame connection. And this isn't like a pros and cons list. This is like just a knowingness. I just know this is true, right? So, okay, but you won't act on it. Queen of Wands says, I won't act on it. And then the King of Pentacles reversed. We can read this as the Divine Masculine. Excuse me. The Divine Masculine is over-functioning. He's building, he's giving, but often from a place of resentment or control. So he may seem stable on the outside, Divine Masculine, but inside he's lonely and he's rigid, or he's secretly exhausted. He's secretly exhausted. So he wants the partnership. He wants this. The Divine Masculine wants this with the Divine Feminine. But he doesn't trust that she'll rise, that she'll meet him where he is. So he either protects, right? So he's either holding on too tight or he detaches emotionally from his heart, right? So he's protecting instead of receiving, right? He's protecting himself instead of receiving. So in essence, he's a builder. He's building, right, the structure, that inner Divine Masculine structure that needs to be built by the Divine Masculine. He's building that structure, but he doesn't believe that she'll come around, that he'll ever be chosen, right? So he never really opens the door to this. So with this here, there's a mutual soul recognition, but there's a constant emotional short-circuiting. So she here, the Queen of Wands reverse, says, I resent him. I resent the Divine Masculine. He knows that we're twin flames. Why isn't he coming and claiming me? Why is he not coming and claiming me? Right? Like a kid, the caveman, right? You're mine. And this is the old programming that we're letting go of. The old programming is that the woman is chaste and she is chosen by the male. And that's not how the new relationship paradigm goes. It's actually the woman, the Divine Feminine, that claims the Divine Masculine here, right? So she's resenting, why is he coming to claim me? And he's resenting her, like, why is she not rising and becoming the queen that I know that she is, right? And it's reminding me of a story actually here, and it's about this couple, right? This woman who met this man, and she knew right away that there was a deeper connection between them, but he was in another relationship, and he wasn't really interested in her that way, and they tried to become friends, and twin flames cannot be friends. The energy is too intense. Twin flames are meant to merge in all ways, right? So friendship would be very devastating for the twin flames. So anyway, she took his message, he's not interested, and she moved away to the mainland, and another man found her and proposed to her, and she was all about to get married. She was going to get married in 2 weeks time or something, and she had a friend in Maui back here that said, can you come back? I really need your help. So she went back to help her friend, and then she went to Haleakala, that's the volcano here, in stayed in the crater overnight, and she had this vision, right, of the man that she was really interested in. She never forgot him. She said, I thought about him all the time, even when I was with this other guy. And she had a vision, right? And she had a vision. So she the next day she left that volcano and she went straight to the man that she really wanted, really desired. And she said, I'm coming from Haleakala, and I just had a vision that you are my husband and you're the father of my child, right? And then she basically said, right, I'm staying, I know this. So he was kind of flabbergasted, and he's like, okay. So what was happening there? And then they got married and they had a child and everything too, right? But I love this story. And that was her and her divine feminine. It was the knowingness, the divine knowingness, like, no, this is my husband. This is my partner. I've had the vision. And she wasn't going by ego. She was going by divine grace, right? And by able to see. And that's the divine feminine, is able to see into the future and just have this knowingness in her body, like, no, he's my twin flame. I know this. And then she goes and claims him. Before, she was in her ego and feeling inadequate. Oh, he's not really interested in me. Okay, I'll be your friend. She wasn't in her power. So that's what this message is saying to the divine feminine, is you need to rise and you need to claim this and claim this vision, and the masculine will respond to that, right? Will respond to that power, just like this guy did here, this man here. So it's making me think of this, right? So to be in your power, to get out of the shadow, right? The inadequacy and the smallness and the way that you've had to be in relationship before. So the opportunity here is when you rise, divine feminine, and you stop pretending and faking, and you really reclaim your spiritual fire, you become radiant, grounded, and embodied, and you stop needing to be seen, and you simply are just be, right? You're not dressing for other people. You're not performing for other people. This is just for you when you're in your fire. And then when the King of Pentacles heals, the divine masculine, he stops gripping, controlling, or withholding, and he opens his heart. He no longer guards his resources. He shares them, and these are the inner resources too. And he trusts in the balance, right? The balance of give and take, with that it's equal. And so together they become the divine feminine, who leads with her intuition, and the grounded masculine, who holds the container, right? But not until the distortion. This distortion has to go, right? Okay. And then there's the Four of Wands, and we know the Four of Wands, this is twin flame. It's a twin flame card. So the spiritual truth is union. So it's saying that you are twin flames, and this is the card. This is soul recognition. It's sacred mirror. This is not a fantasy that you two are destined to be together in union, but soul contracts are not always fulfilled, right? It depends on both parties. Both have to rise as the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And then you've got the Tower, the Two of Cups reversed, Three of Swords, and the Lovers, right? And so the Tower is the breakdown of the illusion, and that you must accept that love alone is not enough, right? You have to take action. You've got to face your fears. And for that Queen of Wands, for instance, to flip over, she's got to face her fear of rejection, right? Abandonment, right? What if I make a bad mistake again in relationship? She's got to face all those fears, right? So this connection could have been, this is the tragedy, it could have been, it was destined to be lovers. It could have been that, right? But right now it's in heartbreak. So Spirit broke this open so that you could see the truth. You could see the truth. So for the twin flames, it's just about accepting the sacredness of this connection, even as you release the illusion, any illusions that you have about this, what this relationship should be like, right? And you'll not collapse for someone who won't rise. So if your divine masculine is not rising, you're not going to collapse, right? You're going to stay in your power. Okay. So let's go to, who's up here next? Projectors. Just quick readings for the types. So the projector has the 5 of Cups reversed and the Ace of Wands reversed. So what truth is ready to land in your body, projectors, about love, recognition, and energetic guidance? So the message here is you're still grieving the one that couldn't see you, right? They couldn't see you. They couldn't recognize you. The places where you offered your light and your projector wisdom and your truth, only to be met with delay, rejection, or indifference, whatever, right? You've given them gold and they just like toss it away, right? But the grief is no longer sacred. It's becoming a weight. So this is saying to let this go, right? It's time to stop looking behind you, looking back to your past. And the recognition you thought you needed is no longer your source. You don't need that person to recognize you that just, tossed away your gold like it was garbage that you were offering. You don't need that anymore. You recognize yourself now. So the Ace of Wands reverse says, stop initiating and stop forcing. Stop trying to initiate and stop trying to force. You're a projector. So this is not time to spark something that's dead. You want to wait for your real fire. Your real fire, the invitation that feels like somebody just ignited your soul. When you get that recognition from someone, they really see you and they really get you. It's like the best feeling in the world for projectors. So this is the wait for the real fire, right? The real invitation, and you're not invisible. And you're being protected by the ones that are not for you. The ones that come in and try to treat you like crap, they're not for you. They're not for you at all. And when you meet them, say thank you, because it's making room for the real ones to come towards you, right, as a projector. So your mantra this weekend is, I release the grief of being misunderstood, right, and not seen. I no longer try to spark fire in those people that can't see me. They can't hold me, divine feminine projectors. And you wait for the invitation that feels like resurrection. That feels like a resurrection. Okay. And then, what else do we got here? We got the MGs on the slide deck next. There's that 5 of Cups again, but it's upright this time. So Knight of Cups reversed, MGs, and the 5 of Cups. So what truth is ready to land in your body about love, momentum, and emotional energy? So you poured the message is you poured your energy into this, right? Into this someone who couldn't hold it. He couldn't hold it. You chased the connection. You showed up. You offered truth. You let your heart run. Right? But the Knight of Cups reverse reveals a painful truth. He never really opened up to you. He never really opened up to receive you. It wasn't balanced. It was imbalanced. You did all the giving. He did all the taking. And now, like the projectors before you, right? You're facing grief. But for you, it's not just emotional grief. It's in your body, right? This grief is in your body. So your energy is knotted in the past. It's knotted in the past. You feel heavy. You feel slowed down. You feel deflated. And that's because you're not designed to mourn the dead. You're designed to respond to what's alive. This is dead. This relationship is dead, right? So the Five of Cups says, yes, grieve, but don't let the grief become your identity. Don't get locked into it. Let it just move through your body, right? Because love's not behind you. It's what's waiting for you once you stop trying to resuscitate what's already gone and dead, right? So in the body, and this is the thing, right? You got to let your body grieve too. And that's experienced through body pain, headaches, right? You have to let your body grieve. And that means to stop MG. Take a pause. So do some long, deep breathing. Get in the tub. Be near water, right? And just let this energy move. So your mantra is, I release the grief that has tangled up my energy. I no longer pursue love that can't rise to meet me. I respond to what's alive and what's mutual and what's true, not what's dead. Okay, that's the MGs. And then let's go for the manifestors. And the manifestors have the King of Cups reversed with the Ten of Cups. So what truth is trying to land in your manifestor body about emotional integrity, desire, and initiation and love? So you've been dreaming of the full picture, right? The sacred partnership. You've been dreaming about this Ten of Cups. The divine family, right? Your emotional fulfillment. And this is your longing. And it's for a longing for a union that feels like home. But the King of Cups reverse reveals that the shadow you must face, right? You've either withheld your true emotions, or you've given your heart to someone who's unavailable, right? Totally unavailable, emotionally unavailable. And there's a tendency to initiate love with a closed heart, like you, this could be you, or to expect someone to fulfill your dream without earning it. So this is the princess thing, right? I'm a princess and you have to do for me. That's the wounded feminine. So this spread, though, overall says, and take whatever resonates with you, right? So this says you crave depth, you deserve devotion, but you must lead from emotional embodiment, not illusion or suppression, like closing down your heart. And you can't initiate true union from a place of spiritual hope. If the emotional body is still tangled in denial, avoidance, or past betrayal, it won't work. Okay, so your mantra is, I anchor into emotional truth before I initiate love. I feel my heart before I initiate, right? I no longer open the gate to those who hide from their own heart when their hearts are closed. My vision is sacred and it must be shared to be real. Your vision is sacred. This is Ten of Cups. Okay. And then let's go for the generators. And the generators got the best reading ever. I was surprised when I saw this. And these two flung out together. They were like on fire, these two cards when I was shuffling. So what's the truth for the generators to land in your body about love, success, and energetic satisfaction? Because the generators want to feel satisfied. Well, the love wants to land, generators. Union wants to meet you. And the Four of Wands and Eight of Wands, this is divine momentum. This is the speed you like to travel, right? And so this is divine momentum towards sacred relationship, alignment, and arrival. So your frequency is attracting union. It's your frequency. Recognition and breakthroughs very, very fast. But the Six of Wands, right, reverse, says, right, you don't believe. This is the snag. You don't believe you deserve to be celebrated. And you've been so conditioned to pour into other people that now, as love's trying to come rushing into you, your nervous system doesn't know how to receive it. So you may fear success. You doubt that who, me? You're talking about me? Right? You doubt that recognition. You second guess your own joy. But this weekend says don't delay the blessings with your doubt. So generators, don't be listening to your not self, which is your mind and your ego. Don't be listening to that voice. Just get it out of the way. I get the sense you've been waiting for this, right? And it's coming. So your mantra is say this, I'm allowed to be chosen. I'm allowed to be chosen. I'm allowed to win. And love is moving towards me, and I meet it now without any apology or fear. It's coming in. Yeah. So that's good news for the generators. Okay. And then we've got the reflectors. Let's see where the reflectors are. No, you got the Empress. The reflectors. So what truth is ready to land in the reflector's body about self-worth and feminine embodiment? Right? And you've got the Page of Swords reversed and the Empress. So you've been absorbing too many voices, reflectors, especially around love, beauty, and worth. And the Page of Swords reverse says that there's mental noise, outside opinions, right? And old stories that are clouding your mirror. They're clouding up your mirror. And yet the Empress is sitting right beside you, unshaken. And she says, you're already here. You're already here in this energy. You're the mirror. This is the Divine Feminine card, the Empress. So you're the mirror of divine beauty and fertility and sensuality and grace and abundance. But the mirror's been cracked by the commentary of who doesn't know your worth, right? So it's time to stop studying love and start living it. Stop reading about love and start living it, embodying it. So it's time to stop watching others and start receiving yourself, receiving this yourself. So this weekend calls you back to body wisdom, softness, and sovereign radiance. And so let your Empress lead, right? Be loving yourself up. The Empress knows how to love herself up. And then let your mind rest. Let your mind rest. So this is very sensual, right? It's ruled by Venus. So your mantra, reflectors, is I return to my own reflection. I stop listening to those who cannot see me, and my body is the oracle. My presence is enough. Yay. Okay. So that's what I got for the readings, and be sure to check out the Lilith Rising, Awakening the Divine Feminine online retreat. Starts 1 week from today. I'm very excited about it. I've been working on it, so I got to get back at it. I got this retreat all together. So there's lots of information on my website for it, and if you're feeling called, it's just set your intention and sign up. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so I will see you, when will I see you again? On Tuesday. Okay, enjoy the weekend. Sat Nam Aloha.